For the last few years, we used artificial intelligence as a simple autocomplete tool. We type a few letters for a suggested word. Today, we are watching software write and organize itself autonomously. Inside labs like Anthropic, developers call these new systems agentic AI. Instead of responding to a single prompt, these models act as asynchronous digital coworkers, running continuously in the background to complete complex, multi-step projects. This changes the scale of human output. A single engineer is no longer focused on writing one line of code. They transition to commanding 10 agents, then 100, and eventually 1,000 operating simultaneously. Alexander Wang, CEO of Scale AI, notes that historically, the bottleneck to progress was getting enough smart people to execute a shared goal. With intelligence and agency becoming abundant, raw execution is no longer the scarce resource. The scarce resource is vision. The future of work belongs to those who know exactly what they want to build, and who have the ambition to orchestrate massive ecosystems of digital intelligence to get it done. Elon Musk predicts that within roughly 5 years, the total capability of this artificial intelligence will exceed the sum of all human brainpower. To affect the physical world, that digital superintelligence needs hands. By integrating these advanced models with humanoid robotics, the software gains the ability to physically shape atoms and build infrastructure. This creates what Musk describes as a quasi-infinite economy. When software thinks for free and robots manufacture goods for the cost of electricity, human labor is entirely decoupled from production, creating an absolute abundance of goods and services. If the technology guarantees this level of material wealth, the primary threats left to derail human progress are our own financial panic and global political friction. If an era of total abundance is technologically inevitable, it raises a difficult question. Why do technology markets continually experience massive, violent sell-offs? Investor Ray Dalio notes that the current market is exhibiting the classic macroeconomic signs of a financial bubble. Investors recognize the future value of AI and borrow heavily to bet on it, driving stock prices up far past the actual profits these companies are currently making. This diagram illustrates the mechanics of a margin call. When central banks raise interest rates, all that borrowed money becomes expensive. If highly leveraged funds can't pay their debt service, they are forced to liquidate their portfolios, pulling the entire market down with them. We have seen this exact dynamic before. The 1920s introduced revolutionary technologies like commercial electricity and airplanes. The technology was real and eventually delivered on its promise. But because speculation far outpaced actual earnings, it still triggered the Great Depression. Technological inevitability offers zero protection from financial ruin if your bets are over-leveraged. At the same time, the domestic labs building these models face a structural threat. China is actively releasing highly capable open-source AI models to the global public. Giving algorithms away commoditizes the software layer. When capable models are free, the price of digital intelligence approaches zero. The true economic value flows downward to the physical infrastructure. Massive investments are absorbed by server racks, advanced microchips, and energy grids. The ultimate winners of the AI gold rush are unlikely to be the companies writing the algorithms. The value will accrue to whoever controls the physical resources required to turn those algorithms on. Because AI requires such vast physical resources, the race to build it is colliding with global geopolitics, right at the twilight of an 80-year macroeconomic cycle. Historically, these cycles end when a dominant empire begins to decline. The current markers in the United States include massive sovereign debt, stretched domestic budgets, and severe internal political fracturing. As the U.S. manages these internal pressures, China is scaling up the infrastructure required for AI dominance, currently generating more electricity than the United States, Europe, and India combined. They are also strategically bypassing Western hardware monopolies. Chinese firms have started mass-producing their own advanced lithography machines, allowing them to print the specialized semiconductors needed for AI training independently. The United States is attempting to build the future of software while simultaneously losing its historic leverage over the physical supply chains required to run it. To maintain its position, the U.S. must deploy its resources carefully, but it is currently caught in an escalation trap. Conflicts in the Middle East act as a geopolitical quagmire, draining Western attention and capital. Military strategist Robert Pape points to decades of data on historical air campaigns, which prove that brute force bombing does not successfully compel a hostile population to surrender. The psychological reality of bombing campaigns is that they generate barbarism and entrench a desire for revenge, dragging the attacking nation into a prolonged, unwinnable drain on its resources. Waging traditional kinetic wars consumes the exact capital, energy, and national focus that a country requires to secure dominance in the new digital economy. The path forward requires humanity to run a specific gauntlet: surviving individual labor displacement by digital agents, navigating massive volatility in over-leveraged financial markets, and enduring the clash of declining global empires. Navigating this requires hyper-adaptability. Investors like Dalio advise diversifying across different asset classes and maintaining a deep understanding of historical cycles to avoid being wiped out when the system resets. An age of absolute abundance is technologically achievable, but it will not arrive peacefully. It belongs only to those who can navigate the fierce friction of human history to build it.